Getting blocked is one of the worst feelings that we face, and when this blocking happens from a specific person, we feel downhearted. But what if I told you that there is a way to get unblocked by your specific person? There is a way. You have to follow some advice, and you will get unblocked in a blink. But be sure to stay with me till the end of this video. I know it is frustrating when your special someone has blocked you from social media, they blocked your contact, and you start assuming all the horrible things. You start thinking that they will forget you, and they will move on. You think that this will be a permanent thing. I know how it feels. So, the first thing is to stop assuming the worst. Stop making it worse by making up some new negative stories about them in your mind. By doing it, you are just adding a cherry on top. Also, stop saying that you are blocked. You have probably said it 100 times, and you have probably told your best friend about it in every conversation you had. They know it already, so stop doing it. When you keep on telling everyone that you are blocked, then you are persisting in the situation of being blocked. You are manifesting yourself as being blocked. If you understand the law and if you have any experience with the law, then observe yourself from a third-person perspective, and you will realize that you are persisting in being blocked by your specific person. You are also doing it by checking your phone again and again. Many people make this mistake, and then they do the worst thing. They create fake accounts to message their specific person. They use their friends' phones to reach out to their specific person. Some even buy an additional phone number to reach out to their specific person. But they face disappointment when their specific person blocks their additional phone number as well. Lots of disappointment, and you become much more desperate. So, promise me, you won't reach out to them if you are blocked. It does not matter if it is their birthday or Valentine's Day, or if you want to know something about them. You don't have to reach them. You don't have to contact them. You have to stop chasing them. You have created a negative story in your mind that is manifesting in your reality. Acknowledge that you created it in your past by forming some negative assumptions. When you acknowledge that you created it, then you can definitely change it as well. Stop focusing on this story of them blocking you. Whatever you focus on expands. You have to do the opposite of what you are doing right now. Just ask yourself, what would you be doing if your specific person were in a relationship with you? How would your days be like? How would you feel? What would you think about your relationship? Just ask these questions and focus on the thoughts you get. Entertain these thoughts, and by doing so, you are creating a new story about your relationship with a specific person. Just play around with the idea that you are in a perfect, harmonious relationship with a specific person. I suggest you try out a very fun activity. It is an imaginary act that you have to do a few times during your day. In this act, you have to imagine a scene where you just came out of your bathroom after taking a bath. You are wearing your clothes, and you hear your phone ringing. But by the time you reach to pick up your phone, the call had ended, and you saw 10 missed calls from your specific person. You saw some voicemails and messages where your specific person was asking where you were. When you see this, you feel it to be normal, and instead of responding or calling them, you go make your coffee and wait for another call from them, and then the phone rings again, and this time you pick up their call. The key point here is to feel normal. No excitement that they are calling me or desperation to respond to them as soon as possible. You have to feel as if it is an everyday thing. It is normal. I know this imaginal scene may sound weird to you, as right now you are blocked and you behaved like this with your specific person in the past. But the key is to change the roles. The key is to change how your specific person feels about you and acts with you by imagining a scene that is totally opposite to what you are getting. Always remember that it is an internal game. It is a game of shifting your inner world. It is a game of changing your dominant assumptions. You don't have to take any external action. You don't have to take any physical action. You have to ignore the present state and assume the wish is fulfilled. Claim it, it will respond. Nothing is on the outside, everything is on the inside. Life is happening through you. You are manifesting the reality that you are choosing based on your dominant assumptions. Only you can influence them, and only you can change them by changing your story. The great secret is a controlled imagination and a well-sustained attention firmly and repeatedly focused on the feeling of the wish fulfilled until it fills the mind and crowds all other ideas out of consciousness. That is why it is important to repeat that imaginal act again and again. The main motive behind choosing this scene is to make you feel normal with the idea of them getting obsessed with you. You have to understand that you manifested getting blocked by forming a story. Try to remember a time when your specific person used to call you. They used to talk to you and text you. Remember the time when they showed too much interest in you. It was because of a story you had in your mind. You played a story and manifested it in your reality. What you believed about yourself and your specific person played out in your external reality. Now, when things are opposite, it simply means that you changed the story in your mind. You changed the script of your movie. Change the script again, change the roles, and assign yourself a higher role because, in the end, it is your story. It is a story that you created in your mind and entertained in your head, and when it manifested, you got the evidence, and you followed this cycle of creating negative stories. Whatever you assume takes place, and if you are facing some bad situation, then just think outside of this situation by forming a new story. The world that is described by observation is a manifestation of the mental activity of the observer. When man discovers that his world is his own mental activity made visible, that no man can come to him except he draws him, and that there is no one to change but himself, his own imaginative self, his first impulse is to reshape the world in the image of his ideal. But his ideal is not so easily incarnated. In that moment when he ceases to conform to external discipline, he must impose upon himself a far more rigorous discipline, the self-discipline upon which the realization of his ideal depends. Change your conception of yourself, and you will automatically change the world in which you live. Do not try to change people. They are only messengers telling you who you are. Revalue yourself, and they will confirm the change. Changing your self-concept is the most important thing. For me, changing the self-concept is the ultimate thing when it comes to manifesting anything, be it a specific person or money. You can manifest whatever you desire by changing the concept of yourself, and if, in general, people are acting coldly towards you, then you definitely have to work on your self-concept. Don't worry, I will show you a way and a technique that I used to change my self-concept. It will definitely help you, so follow the first video on the end screen to become a hero from zero.